Most of the problems keeping you awake at 2 a.m. don't actually exist. You aren't stressed because your life is hard. You're stressed because you're asking yourself the wrong questions. While you're staring at your ceiling wondering, why is this happening to me? Or when will I finally feel like I've made it? You are literally handing the keys to your sanity to people who don't even know you exist. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to give you 9 acid test questions used by the most powerful men in history to stay calm while their worlds burn down. If you can't answer the 4th question honestly, you are living a lie, and it's costing you your best years. Stick with me because by the end of this, the things that used to break you won't even be able to dent you. You're exhausted, not because you're working too hard, but because you're trying to control the weather. You're checking the news, tracking the Fed's interest rates, and worrying if your ex's new partner is better looking than you. You're carrying a backpack full of rocks that don't belong to you. Question 1. Is this a me problem or a universe problem? Stop leaking your power to a world that doesn't even know you exist. Epictetus, a man who rose from the literal chains of slavery to become a consultant, to the most powerful emperors on earth, distilled the entire human struggle into one brutal, necessary filter. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. In the modern age, we have ignored this boundary, falling into the trap of outrage porn, where we feel a false moral obligation to stress over every global tremor. If you are losing sleep over the 2026 election cycles or the price of gas in California, you aren't being informed, you are being drained. Every ounce of anxiety you spend on a universe problem is an ounce of energy stolen from your me problems. Your income, your discipline, and the respect of your family are me problems. They require your presence. But when you give your peace of mind away for free to things that don't have a face, you are effectively choosing to be a slave to the noise. This is about tactical preservation. If you cannot change an outcome with a single phone call or an intense hour of focused labor right now, it is officially noise. Treat your attention with the same ferocity you use to guard your bank account. If it is outside your circle of influence, it is outside your jurisdiction. Period. Stop letting the world touch you if you cannot touch the world back. Question 2. What is the flaw? Most men spend their entire lives sprinting away from a shadow, fueled by a vague, vibrating anxiety that if things go wrong, it's all over. But the Stoics practiced a brutal mental drill called premeditatio malorum, the deliberate meditation on evil. Not to be morbid, but to become bulletproof. They knew that fear loses its teeth the moment you map it out. Ask yourself right now, what is the flaw? If the startup crashes, if she walks out the door, if the bank account hits absolute zero, what then? You'd be on the floor. But here is the secret the world is terrified you'll discover. You can live on the floor. You'd eat ramen, you'd sleep on a friend's couch, and your lungs would still pull in oxygen. You would still be you. The floor isn't a death sentence. It's a foundation. Once you realize the bottom isn't fatal, you strip the what-ifs of their power to negotiate with your soul. You stop playing it safe and start playing to win because you know you can't be destroyed. But even if you master the floor, you're likely still performing for an audience you don't even like. Most men aren't actually afraid of the struggle. They are terrified of being seen struggling. And that leads us to the question that usually ruins a man's entire career before it even begins. Question 3. Would I still want this even if I don't post it? We live in a comparison culture where men are drowning in debt to buy Teslas they can't afford, all to impress neighbors they don't even like. This is the Instagram test, and most people are failing it every single day. If you were the last person on earth, would you still be chasing that promotion? Would you still be grinding for that watch, that car, or that specific look? If the answer is no, then you aren't building a life. You're building a performance. And stage sets are hollow. They fall over the moment the wind of reality blows. The Stoics understood that true power isn't found in the applause of the crowd, but in the quiet approval of your own conscience. When you strip away the digital highlights and the social signaling, what is left? If there's nothing there, you're living a lie. Stop performing. Start existing. A man who builds his foundation on the opinions of others is a man who can be broken by a single comment. But a man who builds for himself is untouchable. The floor doesn't scare him, and the universe doesn't distract him. He isn't seeking a like. He's seeking a legacy that exists even when the cameras are off. Question 4. Am I suffering in reality or in my head? Seneca, a man who navigated the treacherous waters of Nero's Rome, dropped a truth bomb 2,000 years ago. That hits harder today than any modern productivity hack. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Think about that last crisis that kept you awake at 3 a.m. Was it the actual event that drew blood? Or was it the 400 catastrophic scenarios you played out in your head before the sun even rose? Most of your scars aren't from life. They are self-inflicted wounds from a mind that refuses to stay in the present. Every Slack message that makes your heart race, every email you're afraid to open, and every "we need to talk" text is a playground for your anxiety. You are essentially hitting yourself and wondering why it hurts. You are treating a possibility as a certainty, and in doing so, you are paying interest on a debt you might never even owe. Pause, take a breath. Think about that one specific thing making your stomach knot up right now. Look at it closely. Is it physically happening to you this second? Is a building falling on you? Is your heart failing? Or is it a ghost? If it hasn't happened yet, it doesn't exist. Stop giving a ghost the power to ruin your day. Reality is usually manageable. It's the horror movie playing in your skull that's unbearable. Kill the projector. Question 5. Is this an obstacle or a fuel? Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world at the time, sat in a mud-soaked tent on the edge of the empire and wrote the ultimate cheat code for resilience. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In plain English, the very thing you are complaining about is the exact tool you need to get to the next level. Stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" like a victim, and start asking, "How is this training me?" like a professional, that toxic boss who makes your life miserable. He isn't an obstacle. He is a high-stakes simulator for emotional regulation and stoic detachment. That gut-wrenching breakup? It isn't a dead end. It is a brutal audit that highlights exactly where your self-worth was hollow and dependent. When you stop resisting the fire and start walking through it, the fire stops burning you and starts forging you. If you change the question, you change the power dynamic. You are no longer a leaf being blown by the wind of circumstance. You are the wind itself. Every problem is just a curriculum. Every disaster is just a lesson in disguise. Stop wishing for an easy life and start wishing for the strength to dominate a hard one. Question 3. Would I still want this even if I don't post it? We live in a comparison culture where men are drowning in debt to buy Teslas they can't afford, all to impress neighbors they don't even like. This is the Instagram test, and most people are failing it every single day. If you were the last person on earth, would you still be chasing that promotion? Would you still be grinding for that watch, that car, or that specific look? If the answer is no, then you aren't building a life. You're building a performance. And stage sets are hollow. They fall over the moment the wind of reality blows. The Stoics understood that true power isn't found in the applause of the crowd, but in the quiet approval of your own conscience. When you strip away the digital highlights and the social signaling, what is left? If there's nothing there, you're living a lie. Stop performing. Start existing. A man who builds his foundation on the opinions of others is a man who can be broken by a single comment. But a man who builds for himself is untouchable. The floor doesn't scare him, and the universe doesn't distract him. He isn't seeking a like. He's seeking a legacy that exists even when the cameras are off. Question 7. How much of my life am I trading for this? Stop acting like your time is an infinite resource and start treating it like the only currency that actually matters. Every single time you dive into a toxic comment war on X or spend an hour in the break room venting about a co-worker you don't even respect, you aren't just talking, You are making a transaction. You are taking 60 minutes of your finite, unrepeatable life and handing them over to someone who doesn't deserve 60 seconds. You are literally trading your life for garbage, and the universe doesn't offer refunds. Ask yourself the brutal question, is that person worth an hour of your life? Is that 3-year-old grudge worth another week of your mental bandwidth? Most people are walking around bankrupt because they are overpaying for things that have zero ROI. They spend a month's worth of energy on a universe problem they can't change and a week's worth of focus on a person they don't even like. Your life is a countdown, not a stopwatch. Stop being a big spender with your minutes while being a miser with your money. If the thing you're stressing about isn't worth the literal minutes of your life you're burning on it, then drop it. Walk away. Reclaim your currency and spend it on something that builds your empire, not someone else's drama. Question 9. If I died tonight, would this matter? Stop living like you have 1,000 years to waste on things that are beneath you. The Stoics called this Memento Mori, the practice of keeping death sitting on your shoulder, not as a source of depression, but as a source of ultimate clarity. We spend our days agonizing over a failed project, a rude comment from a stranger, or a minor dent in our ego. But if your heart stopped beating at midnight, would that catastrophe even make the footnotes of your life? Most of the things we stress about are ego crimes, not life crimes. We are offended, we are annoyed, and we are inconvenienced. But in the shadow of the grave, those things evaporate. Death is the ultimate filter. It strips away the noise and leaves only the signal. It forces you to ask, did I spend my last day building something, or did I spend it defending a reputation that will be forgotten in 40 years? When you live with the awareness that your time is a disappearing vapor, you stop being polite to distractions. You stop entertaining people who drain you. You stop playing small. You realize that the only thing that matters is how you showed up, who you loved, and what you built. The lower version of you wants to fight about the past. The higher version knows the clock is ticking. This is the end of the line. You've gone through the 9 filters. You know the flaw isn't fatal. You know the universe is noise, and you know your time is non-refundable. Now, the only question left isn't for the script. It's for you. What are you going to do with the time you have left?